Reggae Girlz patron Cedella Marley has lashed out at the Jamaica Football Federation, JFF, accusing them of mishandling funds. In a lengthy Instagram post, Marley condemned the federation for refusing to allow money donated to the Reggae Girlz for an upcoming Pan Am Games training camp to be sent directly to vendors. This is what she said. I'll read for you. So far, I've been unbothered by the shenanigans of this federation, but I will say this much. After being made aware, the JFF could not afford to host a camp to help the Reggae Girlz prepare for the Pan Am Games, I was able to raise the funds with the condition that we pay all bills directly to vendors instead of giving cash to the federation. They sent an email declining, citing a, quote, bracket, previously unheard of, policy that, quote, all monies must be paid directly to the Jamaica Football Federation, end quote. Based on recent history with this administration, including the fact that none of the players and the staff from the senior team have been paid the monies contractually due to them, I cannot, in good conscience, agree to give the federation any money directly. But the Reggae Girlz must train so they can represent our country in Peru. So if anybody in Jamaica has a field and a ball, we have a national team ready to work, says Cedella Marley. And she has the blue tick. She's verified by Twitter. According to local media reports, Marley and the sponsors have raised $42,000 for the camp. She insists the JFF be subjected to an audit before she and her foundation commit any more funds to the Reggae Girlz cause. Now, we reached out to Cedella Marley and we were advised by the marketing manager of the Bob Marley group of companies, Sabrina Webster, that she's unavailable for interviews at this time. Ms. Webster said Cedella just wants to focus and continue on supporting the Reggae Girlz. Well, we reached out to the JFF and the organization's General Secretary Dalton Wint was kind enough to join us in the studio to discuss the issue. Welcome, Dalton.
Thank you very much.
Welcome again, I should say, because you've been gracious enough to be with us in the past. Let's start here. What from the post do you take issue with?
I don't really take issue with what is said in a post. The fact is that we have had a good relationship with the Marley Foundation, Alacran. They have supported the sport, and we have in turn given them the exposure that they do deserve. And so whenever a person is rant and rave on Twitter or in the public space without having a discussion, I don't really take issues to it.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. The reason I put that question first, I could have put several, but I put that one first, is because of this. The post from Cedella Marley's verified Twitter account says that the JFF's past shenanigans. You're an intelligent man, you know what shenanigans means. And the use of that word says something to the public about knowledge that Cedella Marley would have about how the JFF handles money. You're not taking issue with that?
That part of it is something that is very disgusting to hear, because the truth of the matter, the JFF has been very transparent. We are an audited organization. We are audited by the board. We are audited by FIFA. We are audited by our external auditors. We are audited by CONCACAF. We have nothing to hide.
Mm-hmm. So the issue of shenanigans, you reject that?
I reject.
All right. The tone of the post suggests, and the reason we have to pivot on the post is because we don't have Ms. Marley here to speak for herself, so we have to speak through her post, which is her words. The post gives the impression that the JFF in the past, more specifically because shenanigans is broad, the JFF more specifically has mismanaged funds and is in a situation now, where she is choosing not to give money directly to the JFF, sending the signal that she can't trust the JFF to handle cash directly, and so she would rather cut you out the middle as the mediator and pay the vendors herself. How do you respond to that specific charge?
Those charges are unfortunate, because the truth of the matter, as I said, the JFF is an audited organization.
But this has nothing to do with the audit, though, you know. This has to do with honesty in business, which is different. Because she's saying, Lance, that if I give the JFF money, I'm not sure where it goes, and I'm not sure that it goes for the purpose intended. And because of this uncertainty and the problems that this causes, I am going around you and paying the vendors themselves. For any self-respecting organization, it can't look good for somebody who does business with you to be saying that. I put that to you for your response.
It can't be a good look for the JFF, for one of their donors, one of their sponsors, matter of fact, an ambassador for the sport, saying that publicly. It's unfortunate because the truth is that we have always carried out our side of the bargain. Whenever we have a discussion and an agreement, that is always carried out. The truth is that sometimes it's a little bit slow because the truth is we have 14 national units to take care of. No money in the JFF, absolutely no money, is really sterile. Every money that comes to the JFF is spent. It's spent according to how we see fit to use that money. It is not misappropriated. No money is misappropriated at the JFF.
Stay with me on that point, because let's use a government ministry as an example. If the Ministry of National Security gets allocated from the finance minister at budget time $5 million for recurrent expenditure, which is wages and salaries, and it gets another $5 million for capital expenditure, which is to build a bridge or whatever. The $5 million for capital expenditure can't be spent on recurrent, and none from recurrent can be spent on capital.
Yes.
Are you saying that all monies that come into the JFF, so there's not a dollar that comes in that say, this is women's football dollar, nothing else should be spent? This should not be spent on anything else. You're saying that's not the case?
If, for instance, we get money and it's for a specific reason.
Yes. To
pay the salary of the girls.
Yes.
We can't use it and we will not use it to spend on the boys or whatever.
Yes.
Right? If we get our sponsorship and it's a sponsorship for the program.
Yes.
That money is spent wherever we see fit to spend that.
So stick the pin now.
So
bear with me. The money that Cedella Marley and her group would have raised,
yes,
that in their mind, and I'm sure given how she does business, she would express to say, this dollar is for the women's program, for the Reggae Girlz.
Right.
But you take it in as sponsorship.
No. If that money in particular is designed or designated to be spent on the girls for the camp in Jamaica, that $42,000.
Yes.
We created that budget.
Yes.
Right? That money would be spent specifically on that camp. And we have always done that.
And no vendor, based on the best of your knowledge, has complained to Cedella that for services that we have rendered to the girls, where we should have been paid, we have not been paid, and hence, we want you to pay us directly because we can't depend on the JFF to either pay us or to pay us in a timely manner. You're saying, to the best of your knowledge, that situation hasn't arisen?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the truth of the matter, we engage our vendors and we have discussion. We pay them, yes. We pay them sometime a little bit slower than they would have wanted to be paid. But if we do have the money designated, we get the money from the sponsors to pay for hotel, that money is paid directly to the hotel.
I recognize, Dalton, from the very outset there that you did express some discomfort in responding to these social media posts as opposed to, facing the issue with Cedella directly.
Yes.
This relationship is caustic. I don't think Cedella is a crazy person. Where did this caustic relationship come from?
I don't know.
But you must know. You must have some idea where it started.
I'm trying to wrap my head around it to see where this thing started out. Because we had a discussion with Cedella when we came into office and we said, hey, we want to retain you as the ambassador. A matter of fact, I was the vice chair for the women's program when we decided that we would have wanted Cedella to be the ambassador for the Reggae Girlz. And so I looked up to Cedella as a person who can lead this program, and she has done so well. The truth of the matter, I don't know where it went awry. It can't be that she's a part of something, or we are all a part of something, and we are exposing it in a negative way. It is wrong.
Yeah, but some of her comments over the past few months, she has been known to speak favorably of the previous JFF administration headed by the late Captain Burrell. and there seems to be some U-turn that she has made now, given the current administration under Michael Ricketts. What, to your knowledge, would have changed? Because she speaks glowingly of Captain Burrell and what the kind of relationship she had when he was in charge.
The truth is that I don't know what caused all of this issue.
That's hard
the
to
way
take, Dalton,
we operated
yeah.
6-10 years ago can't be the same way. FIFA is very strict on how you spend money and how you engage third-party involvement in the sport. They are very strict as it relates to that. And so we have to be conscious of how we engage our third party. They can't be the one that is running the sport. It can't seem that way. If every sponsor comes in and to say they want to pay a third party, they want to do that, where is the limit of bribery? Where is the boundary that it relates, as it relates to nepotism? All of those things has to be controlled by the JFF, and understand that funds that comes to the JFF has to be audited, and the governance of the JFF have to be of a certain level.
Yeah, but Dalton, is there some level of embarrassment from the JFF standpoint that you would feel, given the fact that this outside person has, you'd have to say, bailed out the JFF in this critical issue of funding the women's program? Because to the fans looking on and to an outsider, it does look as if the JFF can't manage, and Cedella has come and saved the day.
The truth of the matter is that she has done well with the program, but the truth is...
What does she have that you don't have as an organizing body?
Probably capital, right? But the truth...
Cedella has more money than the JFF?
It is quite possible. Right. The truth of the matter is that all the things that you're seeing, the JFF is spending heavily in this program. The program is over $2.8 billion.
2-point-odd?
Million dollars, US dollars.
Yes.
Right? We have only received in sponsorship 1 point, little bit. Right? So the truth of the matter, the JFF has to find the balance of the budgeted amount.
I did start by asking if there was some level of embarrassment on the JFF's part.
There is, because
you
the truth of the matter.
You would concede that.
You have to understand that we are in a third world country. We have 14 national units. It's very expensive to maintain these units. I'm just coming from a meeting in which we are trying to host the under 23. It's a budget of over $6 million. We have to find it somewhere. We have no sponsor. The JFF have to find money.
You said earlier that your accounts are audited, and you named several entities involved in that, including an external auditor that the JFF
they are
have
the
engaged.
office now.
So when was your most recent audited accounts published?
Well, we need to get the thing online, but we are audited every year.
Every year.
Every year. A matter of fact, we have been audited for last year. The auditors are here. They're at the office doing some work.
So the 2018 numbers, which is what they're working on now?
Yes, they're working on the 2018.
So the 2017 numbers are there for anybody to look at?
They're there.
So if I could come there and ask to look
there,
through.
request it.
All right.
A matter of fact, it will be made public soon.
Who's your external auditor?
It is
PricewaterhouseCoopers?
Yeah.
All right. The issue of the funding, I wanted to go, not funding, control, because you said something very significant responding to Lance just now. You spoke about the issue of control. Do you, from your seat as General Secretary, interpret or view what is happening now in the public domain as an issue of control, whereby one of your significant sponsors to the women's program does not believe that she is getting enough control over the process of engaging with and paying vendors or other support entities for the Reggae Girlz? And because she's not getting that control over the process, she is disgruntled to the point where she has gone public with some of the differences she's having with the JFF.
You can imagine we have over 15 different sponsors for the program, right? and we allow all of them to take part of it and to do whatever they want to do with it. You can imagine the chaos.
I can imagine that, of course. I can imagine many things, but are you saying yes to the question?
Yes.
So you're saying, so stick with me, Dalton. Stick with me, we have time. Fret not. You're saying yes to the question that the issue of control. So you're saying there's a level of control the JFF wants to maintain as it should,
yes,
and as it is mandated to under its FIFA statute,
yes,
and its obligations and responsibilities.
Yes.
But in the case of Miss Marley, this very important sponsor, she wants you to cede some of that control, and you can't. And you're refusing to.
We can't, because the truth of the matter is that, as I said, we're audited by FIFA. Third-party involvement,
yes,
in the sport, direct involvement, paying third parties and sponsors, paying people, where does it stop?
Yes. So have you said to her in your meetings that, okay, Cedella, we know you mean well, we thank you for what you've done, but you must understand that in this regard and that regard, we have to take charge, so we would respect if you would just allow us to carry out our functions. Have you said that?
That is what I presume caused the tweet. Because the truth of the matter, we were discussing, deliberating, and we gave the Marley Foundation up to the end of the business day yesterday to come up with their sponsorship.
Yes.
We were discussing, and they came up with a proposal of them paying the sponsors directly. Internally, we had discussion, we disagreed, it shouldn't happen. And when we saw what was happening, and we said, for the good, let's hope that our governing bodies, look sideways. Let us allow them. And we did, before that tweet came out, conceded to allow that to take place. We did.
So do you believe that, as Lance put it, because that's the way the streets have it, Dalton Wint, do you believe that because Cedella Marley appears to have saved the Women's World Cup campaign, I'm not saying from your perspective what it is, I'm just telling what the streets have said, because she saved the campaign with her support, do you believe that that is why she's playing hardball with the amount of control she wants over a process that is being superintended by the JFF? I just wanted to be clear on that.
What I would say to that is that we have 15 different
So you're saying
sponsors.
yes to that, and you're strengthening, you're extending the point to say that you can't give control to 15 different persons.
Exactly.
You're saying yes.
Exactly.
Hearing
And the
on
truth
that.
is that there's a saying that who pays the piper calls the tune.
Excellent.
But we have 15 people that is paying the piper.
Would you run into trouble with FIFA if you were to give her the control she wants?
It is possible. Highly possible. Highly
Thought you were going to say as
possible.
night follows day.
It is quite possible.
Quite possible.
Yes.
Last question before you go. She's been good for the program. Nobody can deny that.
Most definitely.
How do you repair the relationship?
We have to have that sit down. We have been trying to reach out to the Marley Foundation to have a sit down from shenanigans that happens in France.
Yes.
And we have not been able to tie down a time for us to sit and speak, because the truth is that we want her to be a part of the program. But what you can't do is be a part of something and destroy it. It makes no sense. Nobody will benefit from it. The girls won't, right? If we destroy the senior program, the youth program will go. We all need to sit together and work together. One happy family.
So in the interest of the football and paying due respect to what the Marley Foundation, Cedella Marley have done, you're extending an olive branch.
Most definitely.
You want to have
been
dialogue.
extended, and we continue to extend it to say, hey, let's have this sit down. There are some points that we can discuss and reach to a consensus. There are points that we'll never be able to change our view on, because we are not allowed because of governance issue. The truth of the matter, we are being seriously regulated. We have to have an integrity officer. We have to have all these checks and balances. We have to report to our directors at least 4 times a year. We have to sit down. I have to sit down in front of a board and to explain how we are operating the JFF.
Well, I'll leave you with this, Dalton Wint. If it is that the public believes that the JFF has something to hide and the JFF is involved in mismanagement or maladministration, even worse, you should publish the books for the public to see.
We will do that.
All right.
And if you have something contrary to what we are saying, bring it forward, please.
Hear you on that. Hear you on that. We take you up on that. Thank you very much, Dalton Wint, JFF General Secretary, talking about the issue concerning the Reggae Girlz preparing for the big mission, Pan Am Games in Lima, Peru.